Hey guys, this is it's me Rick here with another video. And today's video, as you might have guessed already from that sign, is on chickens and chicken farms. And yeah, this video I'm gonna show some of the chicken farms that people do and a couple of flaws in them and show you what I feel to be one of the most effective chicken farm designs out. Anyway, let's get started. So this little rascal is the chicken that you'll want to be either growing to kill or growing to lay some eggs. But that one was just an example, so sorry. Anyway, this right here is an egg. They will grow when you throw them into chickens. An example there, you got a little chicken. It's a 1 in 8 chance to get those, and they take the same amount of time as all other animals do to grow, which is 1 day or roughly 20 minutes. Now let's move on to the farms. As you're playing, everyone's probably tried to make one of these, where it's just a little fenced off area with a chicken, or 2, or 3, or 4 in this case, that give you a small amount of eggs. Every now and again you might kill a couple off to get some chicken. But this farm really isn't effective when you want to get a high production rate of eggs and or meat. So yeah, what people do would probably, if they wanted to kick off the production a bit more, would fill this coop with a lot more chickens. Now, this is okay, I guess, if you just want to have lots of chickens in one area. But the main problem is when you try to open the coop to come in and get your eggs, a lot of the time, once you've got a lot of chickens, they'll be trying to push out here. And when you come in to breed, they'll have the same issue. They'll try to push out or break out. Now, people say to fix this, just get a bigger pen, so there's a lot more room to have a lot more chickens, and there's a lot more area for them to move around in. But you'll eventually come into the same issue where you've put so many chickens in that it won't be very easy to move around and get your breeding done. This also raises the issue of when you get a chicken over here like that, but sorry. When you got a chicken like that one, and you got one over there, and you're trying to breed them to start off your new coop, and they're just too far away from each other. But yeah, so a lot of people do to counter this in single player is use a chicken farm like this, which I like to call the crammer, in which you pretty much have a 3x3 area with glass, and inside that area you put chickens. Except it's a bit more complicated than just a coop, as this one, as you can see, is built by this little tube here with a hollow tube here with a fence gate placed halfway down with water on top of it and water below. This water below is more of a open option, as I just have it there so I can stand there and the eggs will come to me. But this is effective in single player, as you've got very little space used. You can put loads of chickens in that one block and they don't suffocate in the one area, but you do get problems like that. So what people do to counter that is they just make the tube bigger, so much less likely to pop out. Now this isn't very good in multiplayer, as SMP gets a lot more buggy than single player, and single player is quite buggy as it is. For example, I had this before, but throwing eggs into here, from time to time they will break out through the block, just straight out through the block without going out the top. They'll just go through a glass block and fall out the side. Now people combat this by making extra layers, but in SMP it can be just a bit too buggy. Now my way to counter this is a little design I came up with. It's just pretty much based off your basic grinder design, basic drowner grinder design, where it's a 9x9 pit with source water blocks in every corner. Now doing this will channel all the water down into the one point in the center, which you use a similar fence gate and water block above it. As you can see, the fence gate down there underneath the glass, and then you've got the water block there, which all these source blocks are pouring into. Now it keeps all the chickens in a similar fashion in just a single block area, but the benefit of this is when they glitch out and like fly out of where they'd fly out of the top, they, instead of flying out into the open and running around and causing a kerfuffle, they remain in the sealed off pit because there's just a lot more area for them to move. This also benefits that you can probably fit a lot more chickens in before it'll start getting really buggy, as they can just float around. And no matter where they're floating, the eggs will all be pushed down into the center point. Now, the collection form is quite similar to that one. You've got a little... whoa. I must have thrown some eggs down here. You've got a little collection point just underneath here where the eggs will fall through, and you collect them. Oh, they fell down the ladder. Now, this is a lot easier than the other way because you can just wait in the one point. You don't have to worry about the eggs getting out. And once you collect your eggs, you just head back up and throw them in to increase egg production, I suppose. Now, I've merged this design with what I call the cooker over here in this proof of concept, which uses a small closed off area to cook the chickens. Now, up top here you'll see I've got another similar pit, except this one's made of glass, and all the chickens are floating around in the same way. And below it, where the room would have been, is the same collection kind of area with the gate that makes them drop down, except right next to the collection point is this here, which is a glass cased area about, I think that's 8 blocks long? Oh yeah, no, 7 blocks long, and then the 8th block is at a point back as a source water block. Now, over here I've got a piston control which will stop the chickens floating down this hole. Now this hole leads down into the cooking area where it's just a 3x3x3 with a nether block in the center with fire on it. And as the chickens fall, they fall down, catch fire, drop down here and die, dropping cooked meat. Now this will save you a lot of time and effort, plus saving coal, which is always helpful. Can't get enough coal. Now what you do is you'd get your eggs collected from this drop point here and use these dispensers. These dispensers are a lot safer than just chucking the eggs in, as the hatches won't have a chance of flying away or fluttering out, or glitching through the blocks for that matter. It's a lot more secure. Now you put your eggs in a dispenser and just toggle it until you get enough chickens. As this chicken pen is rather large, you can hold a lot of chickens just using the same mechanic that a lot of chickens can fill the same block. So flicking this switch is probably the most simplest way to do it. But if you find this a bit tedious like you'll find a way to make a redstone repeater. Now you can probably find this design on the web. It's just a fast flick back and forth. I don't know what they're technically called. Anyway, I turn it on. Oh, the dispensers haven't got eggs in them. You fill the dispenser with your eggs, flick it on, and at a steady rate it'll just flick out the eggs. Now, as there's only a 1 in 8 chance, you'll probably go through a lot of eggs before you get any chickens. That's why it's good to have a very large amount of chickens up here, so you have a steady flow of eggs and you don't have to worry about running out. Now, once that's all filled up with the chickens you want, the same situation where you're waiting for them to hatch would be about 20 minutes. So you wait about a single Minecraft day and these eggs will all be, these chickens will be fully grown. And when that comes, you flick the piston on, they fall down, and you'll have cooked meat. Because these are only babies, they don't drop any meat or feathers, but the concept is there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it a bit informative. If anyone has any questions or queries about chicken farms or the best for SMP, just post some questions in the comments below. Please like, favorite and subscribe if you want to help me out. Thanks.